The Nag Hammadi Library is a collection of early Christian and Gnostic manuscripts, also called codices, discovered in 1945 near the Upper Egyptian town called Nag Hammadi. The general dating of the books varies from the 2nd to the 4th century. The collection includes 13 ancient books containing over 50 spiritual texts. The discovery and translation of these scriptures helped scholars to re-evaluate early Christian history and the nature of Gnosticism, a Christian movement originating in the 1st and 2nd century that emphasized gnosis. Gnosis means the direct knowing or acquaintance of the divine through esoteric experience. Today, the precious Nag Hammadi manuscript collection is housed in the Coptic Museum in Cairo, Egypt. Today, we continue with a selection from the Nag Hammadi's treatise on the resurrection, also known as the Letter to Reginos, as well as a passage from the tripartite tractate. In the second part of the Letter to Reginos, it is affirmed that resurrection can be reached any time when one overcomes all divisions and invisible bonds in one's life. The tripartite tractate will describe the incomprehensibility of the one and only Father. The treatise on the resurrection. The resurrection is the truth which stands firm. It is the revelation of what is and the transformation of things and a transition into newness. For imperishability descends upon the perishable, the light flows down upon the darkness, swallowing it up, and the pleroma or spiritual universe fills up the deficiency. These are the symbols and the images of the resurrection. He it is who makes the good. Therefore, do not think in part, O Reginos, nor live in conformity with this flesh for the sake of unanimity, but flee from the divisions and the fetters, and already you have the resurrection. For if he who will die knows about himself and he will die, even if he spends many years in this life, he is brought to this. Why not consider yourself as risen and already brought to this? If you have the resurrection but continue as if you are to die, and yet that one knows that he has died, why then do I ignore your lack of exercise? It is fitting for each one to practice in a number of ways, and he shall be released from this element, that he may not fall into error, but shall himself receive again what at first was. These things I have received from the generosity of my Lord Jesus Christ. I have taught you and your brethren, my sons, considering them, while I have not omitted any of the things suitable for strengthening you. But if there is one thing written which is obscure in my exposition of the word, I shall interpret it for you all, when you all ask. But now, do not be jealous of anyone who is in your number when he is able to help. Many are looking into this which I have written to you. To these I say, peace be among them and grace. I greet you all and those who love you in brotherly love. The Tripartite Tractate, Part 1. 1. Introduction. As for what we can say about the things which are exalted, what is fitting is that we begin with the Father, who is the root of the totality, the one from whom we have received grace to speak about him. 2. The Father. He existed before anything other than himself came into being. The Father is a single one, like a number, for he is the first one and the one who is only himself. Yet, he is not like a solitary individual. Otherwise, how could he be a father? For whenever there is a father, the name Son follows. But the single one, who alone is the Father, is like a root with 3 branches and fruit. It is said of him that he is a father in the proper sense, since he is inimitable and immutable. Because of this, he is single in the proper sense and is a God, because no one is a God for him, nor is anyone a father to him. For he is unbegotten, and there is no other who begot him, nor another who created him. For whoever is someone's father or his creator, he too has a father and creator. It is certainly possible for him to be father and creator of the one who came into being from him, and the one whom he created. For he is not a father in the proper sense, nor a God, because he has someone who begot him and who created him. It is then only the Father and God in the proper sense that no one else begot. As for the totalities, he is the one who begot them and created them. He is without beginning and without end. Not only is he without end, he is immortal for this reason that he is unbegotten, but he is also invariable in his eternal existence, in his identity, in that by which he is established, and in that by which he is great. Neither will he remove himself from that by which he is, nor will anyone else force him to produce an end which he has not ever desired. He has not had anyone who initiated his own existence. Thus, he is himself unchanged, and no one else can remove him from his existence and his identity, that in which he is, and his greatness, so that he cannot be grasped, nor is it possible for anyone else to change him into a different form, or to reduce him, or alter him, or diminish him, since this is so in the fullest sense of the truth, who is the unalterable, immutable one, with immutability clothing him. Not only is he the one called without a beginning and without an end, because he is unbegotten and immortal, but just as he has no beginning and no end as he is unattainable in his greatness, inscrutable in his wisdom, incomprehensible in his power, and unfathomable in his sweetness. In the proper sense, he alone, the good, the unbegotten Father, and the complete perfect one, is the one filled with all his offspring, and with every virtue, and with everything of value. And he has more that is lack of any malice, in order that it may be discovered that whoever has anything indebted to him, because he gives it, being himself unreachable and unwearied by that which he gives, since he is wealthy in the gifts which he bestows, and at rest in the favors which he grants. He is of such a kind and form and great magnitude that no one else has been with him from the beginning, nor is there a place in which he is, or from which he has come forth, or into which he will go, nor is there a primordial form which he uses as a model as he works, nor is there any difficulty which accompanies him in what he does, nor is there any material which is at his disposal from which creates what he creates, nor any substance within him from which he begets what he begets, nor a co-worker with him working with him on the things at which he works. To say anything of this sort is ignorant. Rather, one should speak of him as good, faultless, perfect, complete, being himself the totality. Gracious viewers, we thank you for your kind presence for today's program titled From the Gnostic Nag Hammadi Library on the Resurrection and the Father, Part 2 of 2 on Words of Wisdom.